Welcome to SmartWave YouTube channel. Um, please subscribe to this channel if you like what we are doing on the channel. Share and also tell your friends about the channel. So today we'll be actually looking at doing analysis for this dashboard. You know that in our first video we actually did the data cleaning using Python. So if you have not watched the video, check check out the video in our YouTube channel. So we'll be doing the analysis using SQL Server management today. So I will be showing you everything, how we did the analysis, and also we'll be creating the dashboard today. So stay tuned. Now, before we move into that, you can see that this is one of our sites that you can check up. We also have some products that you can actually get if you want. Now, one of our newest products on this site is the one called the AI Wealth Blueprint, how to make money with AI. So you can visit our site, check out this product. It's just $4 in naira, is 6,500 naira. Now this product will actually help you to see how you can make money using AI. And this a product you can actually buy it. You can actually visit our site from here and also click visit store. Now please try and help us subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like what we are doing. As I said, this like educational channel. We educate you in anything that we know that will help you out, how to make money, how everything in tech, from data analysis, data science. So more to come on this channel. Please help us by subscribing, support us by subscribing. Now if you don't want to go through this, you can actually from the channel itself, you can click on more. You can click on more about the channel. You can see all the links. Now these are the links to visit the SmartWave profile, the SmartWave store, the SmartWave courses which will get ready. Now the SmartWave courses on data analysis, on publishing, Amazon KDP will actually be ready in the future. So we are taking it one step at a bit. And the SmartWave second store, you can actually check them out. Now you can join our WhatsApp channel. As time goes on, we'll start updating things on our channel. Then you can book us for your data analysis, for tutorials if you want to learn anything starting from UI UX design, data analysis, data science, and other things. So you can actually book us. So these are the sites embedded on the YouTube channel that you can make use of. So please help us by subscribing. Now let's dive straight into what we have today. Now, we'll be using SQL Server Management, and you see some of the things we'll be doing today. Now, when you open your server, let's try and open our server management. Okay, it's opening. Now, before then, we know that our data. Let me allow it to open first. Okay, now what you do is just connect to your server. So it has connected. We'll be building let me quit this. Let me close some of these things that we don't make use. I closed. Okay. What happened? Sorry, let me reopen this thing. Let's open our SQL server. Then connect to your server. So we'll be creating a database. But before then, let's check. In our last tutorial, we were able to clean this data called payment clean. I shared the folder in the first video. I will also share the folder in this video for you to make use of. So this the data we are going to use. This is the data we are going to use for the analysis on SQL server. So this is the data we are going to use. Now let me close this. Let me close this. Let's go back to our SQL server. Now I want us to create a new database. You can see, create a new database for this. What should we call it? Let's call it payment payment analysis. Let's call it payment analysis. Let's click OK. Now when you open your database, you can see that we have another database added to these things. Now what we will do is this. We will have to add our data to this database and try to do the analysis. Now when you right click, when you click here, you can see this database contains a lot of things, database diagram, blah 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 blah. So we want to add table to this, right? We want to add a table to it. So how will you do that? When you right click on this place, on the database itself, then you click on tags, you click on import flat files, and when you click on that, let me reduce this. When you click on that, you see introduction and all that, then click on next. Choose the location of where your file is being located. Mine is on the desktop, right? On the desktop we are looking for tutorial folder. This is our file. We'll click on it, we'll open it, right? We'll click on next to preview the data. You can see the data has loaded. Then we'll click on next. Now what we do is this. We'll try to change some of this data type. Small int, I would like to leave it as int. You look for int. Where is it? Int. I would like to leave it as int. And varchar, I would like to leave it as varchar 50. Let me make it 100 because the column I think contains longer name. Just change n varchar to varchar, all of them. Just do the same thing to all of them. Revenue head, let me make it 100. Varchar industry, let me make it 100. Float, leave it at that. Varchar, let me make it 100. So you just do this thing I'm doing now. Make sure that you do it the way it's supposed to be. Big N and date. So payment date is in date format, which is very good. So let's click on next. Let's go to preview. Let me go back. I want to serial number. Should we make it primary key? Serial number, should we make it primary key? We can still leave it though primary key. Let me make it primary key because each of every one of these has what? A serial number. Let's click next. Let's click finish. You can see the data has been inserted successfully. Then you click on close. Here on our table, here when you click on the table, you see it has inserted. But if you do not see it, you can click on refresh table. Then you can see it here. Then another thing we'll have to do is this new query. So let's get our analysis environment. Now, if you this, for example, if this the directly of the database, if for example this is here, when you say let's check our database, let's say select um from payment analysis. Let's click on this, execute. You see, it gives us an error. Why? Because this is in data analysis. This available database is in data analysis. So if your own is not in this, what you need to do is this to make it easier. There are other ways to do it, but to make it easier, um you can actually change this from here. You can actually change it from here and put payment analysis, do payment analysis, or you can also use a code, a script from here. Use use what's the payment analysis, then down go. When you run this script, it will change automatically. Are you seeing it? So I love using this so that anytime I'm coming back, I will just run it. Now you can see that when we say select or from what's the name of our table again? Payment clean data. Payment clean data. You see, it works perfectly. It works perfectly. So you can see our data is actually very okay here. Are you seeing that? It's very okay. So what we do now is we'll start our analysis. We'll start our analysis. We'll start our analysis. Now, the first thing we have to calculate here is what? Our total revenue. Total revenue. So next thing we do, calculate total revenue. Select from payments claimed, sum amount paid, right? As total revenue. As total revenue. So let's run this. You can see our total revenue here. This is our what? Total revenue. Now, the next thing we are going to calculate, you can save this, Control X. Let's save it on our desktop tutorial folder. The next thing we are going to calculate is total transaction. Total transaction, which will be what? Now, select from count. Now we use the word count here. Now you can be count of the receipts. Now when you check this from here, you can see that we have the columns. The columns have so many. You have the receipt number, the payment date, the payment bank. So you are trying to calculate for the total transactions. So we are using the receipt number. You can do it anywhere because You can even use the serial number. Also, it will still give you the same thing, but I want to use the receipt. So count of receipt, the count of receipt as total transaction. So let's run this. So we are having 1000, we are having 1000 transactions, which is very correct. Let me show you what I mean. If I recopy this here and I use serial numbers, due to the serial number is very unique as primary key, it will still give us the same answer. Serial number, it will see, we will still get the same answer. We still get the same answer. If we use, for example, this, let's see what it will give us. Star, it will still give us the same answer. That means this star means the count of everything in our data set. So it will still give us what? The same answer. So it depends on how you want to do it. But in a situation whereby I will prefer you using either the serial number or the receipt number. The receipt number. Now, if let's check something, let's try something. Select receipt count, receipt. Let me say from payment, clean data from a receipt, receipt, receipt number, where the receipt number is null. Let's run this. You can see we have zero null in our receipt number. So we have zero what? Null in our receipt number. So we can what? We can move on, checking for null values. So we're able to clean our data. There is no null value in our receipt. Listen. So the next thing we are going to calculate here is is average transaction. Average transaction. Average transaction. Transaction. Average transaction. So in average transaction, use a function, inbuilt function called what? Average. We can use amount paid. Let me do this from payment. And why I love doing this, so that whenever I'm typing, I will get my suggestion, amount paid, suggestion of the column as average transaction value. So let's run this. This is our average transaction value, which is running in millions, right? Now, the next thing we have to do is we have to calculate is the distribution distribution of payments across MDAs and revenue head and revenue head and revenue head. Now, how do we do this? Now, distribution of payments across MDS and revenue head. If I run this, you can see from our column we have the MDS here, We also have our revenue head. So we are looking at calculating the payment distribution between this and this. So how do we do that? How do we achieve that? Now select. I told you I like using from first so that I can get suggestion of my code instead of typing it out straight. Select. Now what are we going to do here? First of all, have the MDS, right? We have the comma, we have the revenue head, right? Then we are looking for the distribution of payments. So we have the, I say, of payments, sum of payments, not payment, sorry, amount paid, sum of amounts paid, right? As total revenue, as total revenue, right? Comma. Then count of everything. I will use count of everything. As I said, if you want to use this, it will still give you an answer as transaction count, as transaction count, right? Do you need any other thing? So if we run this, let's see what happens. If we run this, you see what happens. So have to, it said column payment clean data is invalid in seller because it's not containing any aggregate. So we need some functions here, group by clause, so, or the group by clause. So we need a group by clause for this code to work. So we have group by disaggregate functions, group by MD, S, and revenue head. If we group this, let's run it and see also if it works. If you see, it works, right? Total revenue and group by, but we want it to be in descending order. You can see that this is from ascending order, so we want it to be in descending order. So how do we do that? You said what? Order by total revenue, total revenue, total revenue. Now you can see this by transaction count. You can see now this correct because this is the total revenue, the transaction count. We are having this here, right? This and this. So this descending order of our total revenue. So for the MDX, the pattern distribution and all that. Now we can actually, since we are looking for this revenue head, this MDS, transactional count, we can actually do this distribution one after the other. What do I mean? We can actually, since we are looking for the revenue head and also for the this, so you can see this actually they are all together, which may be confusing. So what we will do, we can recopy this here and do for head only. So all we do, we remove this. So we have sum of amounts paid, count, yes, from payments. So we remove this, it's not needed, right? Let's rerun this. You can see for the head, this. Okay. Let me do the same thing with and see if there is any change. Let's remove head here, MDX. What's the name again? Let's copy this let's copy this. Let's come down here, type this. Okay, let's check. You see, this a problem, MDAS. So now you can see these are two different things. For the revenue, you can see this is 28, and for this, let's run it. If I run it okay, just pay attention to this. The transaction of this is this for the MDS, and when you check for the revenue head, you can see this. So you can't actually do this together, so we have to delete this, right? So this for the distribution for payment of payments across MDS and revenue. So we can run this. If we run it concurrently, let's see. I want you to see the difference. You can see the first one here is almost 22 million, and the second one here is 28 million. So they are all what? Different. Now another way you can do this to put all of them together is using CTE table, which I will not be doing here. I just want to make this very easy for you guys to understand. Then another thing is this, another calculation is patterns in payment. So we can actually another patterns in payments. Let's calculate the pattern uh, in payments. Pattern in payments method. So patterns in payments method. So how do we do that? We have select from payments in data from payments. So we'll be having payments method. Remember in our data set, we have our payments method there, right? We have our payment method. Then the next thing we are going to do is the count pattern in payment method as what? How do we as transaction count as transaction count. So be another thing is, so how do we do this? Some amounts paid, right? As total, it's total amount or total revenue. Total amounts, anything you want to call it. So another thing is average. Let's use average too. Average amounts paid as average transaction. Some of these things we have done it up, so we are just trying to check for the what payment uh pattern method. So we have to add a group by clause here. Group by payment method, and let's order by should I say total payment? Order by total order by should you use total payments? Order by total amount. Sorry, I said total payments. Total amount. Let's make it in descending order. Let's run this. Hope we will not get error. Okay. So we can see the average transaction. This payment method distribution. You can see for bank we have this. For internal transfer we have 628. For unknown we have 91. Own bank checks we have 6. Transfer this blah blah we have 6. But in our building of our dashboard, there's one thing we will do. We have to group some of these things together to make it more to make our dashboard more clean and and easier to interpret. But this is what we are having here. So this is the payment distribution. You can see our transaction count. So the payment method in bank transfer, they had 158 transaction count. And but in a situation whereby you can see that we have bank here, we also have bank transfer here, which doesn't actually make sense. So in our course of building our dashboard, we actually group some of these things. You can do it here, but I just want to make this thing is easier based on what the data set given to us. The unknown, you can see we have 91 and all that. So but when we group everything for our dashboard, all some of these things will reduce and it will be more clean for the for our storytelling. Now another thing we have to calculate is the seasonal periodic trend. If you go to our dashboard here, you can see the total revenue by year and month, which is our seasonal trend. So we have to calculate that. So have seasonal or periodic or periodic trends, periodic trends in payments. So how do we get this? Select. So we'll be using the inbuilt function from the inbuilt function. The first one, if you see here, where is our dashboard? We calculated for, if you touch it, which is very responsive, we calculated for months and year. You can see 2025 January. Now let's go back. Now we calculated for year and month. So here for the year, we just use the input function year. So in a year, we have the payment date as what? As year, comma. We have the month, right? You want to get the month also. We have the month, the payment date as month. Then we have the sum of amounts paid, right? Sum of the amounts. I have to put comma here so that the suggestion will come out. I don't like typing all through. As what? As total revenue. As total revenue. As total revenue. Okay. So we have to also add group by clause. Group by. Let me copy this. Then the next thing is ordered by year and months. Ordered by year and months. So let's run this. So you can see our distribution for the year 2024. We had the month. The month is ninth. The ninth month of the year 2024. We have this total revenue generated. 2024, the 10th month, we have this. 2024, the 11th month, we have this. And 2024, the 12th month, we have this. So 2025, we have this, right? We have this. If we go to our dashboard, let's see. If you come to our dashboard here, you can see 549, right? 549 million. If you go to this place, it's the same thing, 549 million. So this is how we can actually, so this is where we end our analysis, the analyzing the data And if you have any question, you can actually drop it on our YouTube channel. So the next thing we will do is to build our dashboard. So we have done with our analysis. So the need of doing this analysis is for documentation. So the companies that you are working with may need some of this script. So what you need to do is just you send it to them, and they will run this script to confirm if it's in line with the results you are getting on your dashboard. And it also help you to know when you are making mistake in building your dashboard. If you like this video, please subscribe. At this point, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the next thing we'll be doing is building of our dashboard. Please subscribe.